Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to explain the answer of this exercise, that is chapter 6, life process. Uh, the blue box answers I have already explained in my previous video. So here I'm going to explain the answer of exercise question. These answers along with the answers of blue box question you have to write in your notebook, and you have to upload your answers on the Google Classroom. First question is, the kidney in human beings are a part of the system for, simple one, kidneys part of excretion. So answer will be 1C. The xylem in plants are responsible for transport of water. You know, xylem is responsible for water and phloem is responsible for food. Uh, it transport water along with some minerals. The question 3, the autotrophic mode of nutrition requires carbon dioxide and water, right? Chlorophyll, true. Sunlight, true. All of the above. So answer will be all of the above. In autotrophic mode of nutrition, the plants which occurs in plants, it requires carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, sunlight, all the things. So the answer will be all of the above. Question 4. The breakdown of pyruvate to give carbon dioxide, water and energy takes place in mitochondria. Uh, Conversion of first formation of pyruvate takes place in the cytoplasm, and then pyruvate gets converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy in mitochondria, and that's why mitochondria is known as powerhouse, because energy is released in mitochondria. Now question 5. These four were MCQ. Now these are sub descriptive questions. Question 5 is, how are fats digested in our bodies? Where does this process take place? फैट्स हमारे बॉडी में कैसे डाइजेस्ट होता है और ये डाइजेशन प्रोसेस कहाँ पे होता है हमारी बॉडी में? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, फैट्स आर डाइजेस्टेड इन द स्मॉल intestine. What happens actually? The liver secretes bile juice. This bile juice breaks down the large globule of fats into smaller globule. This is known as emulsification of fats. All these things I have explained in my previous video. And then this bile juice also makes the medium acidic, so that enzymes which are secreted from the pancreas like lipase, it further digests the fat, or it digests the fat, or it converts the fat into fatty acids. So the fats are digested in our body, or this you can explain. Where does this process takes place? This process takes place in the small intestine. What is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? फूड के डाइजेशन में सलाइवा का क्या फंक्शन है? सो सलाइवा एक्चुअली कंटेन्स और secretes नहीं, salivary glands secrete saliva, which consists of salivary amylase, and this it is secreted in our mouth when we chew, or when we take food. It breaks down, this salivary amylase breaks down starch into sugar. Basically we can say it converts complex carbohydrate into simpler one. Next one, what are the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition and what are its byproduct? देखो, necessary condition for autotrophic nutrition is already given in MCQ question number 3. What they require? So the necessary conditions for autotrophic nutrition are carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. What are its byproduct? Its main byproduct is oxygen, which is the most essential element for human being. Oxygen, along with oxygen, some, you can say, some amount of water vapor also they produce during the process of autotrophic nutrition. What are the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? ये क्वेश्चन मैंने एग्जाम में भी पूछा था. नेम सम ऑर्गेनिजम्स दैट यूज द anaerobic mode of respiration. First, differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. When you write this answer, many students have written in the tabular form. That is the actually required mode of writing the answers. Some students have written in the paragraph style also, but always when there is difference or comparison or similarities, always write the answer in tabular form. So you can write differences between aerobic and anaerobic respirations are following. Make a table. First, write the points of aerobic respiration, like aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration takes place in absence of oxygen or in lack of oxygen. The end product of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide and water, while the end product of anaerobic respiration are ethanol and carbon dioxide. In case of aerobic respiration, large amount of energy is released. For one molecule of glucose, 38 ATP of energy is released, while in anaerobic respiration, less amount of energy is released. Only 2 ATP energy is released for one molecule of glucose when one molecule glucose gets oxidized. Next point you can write, I am discussing all the points, but you can write 2 or 3 points. It takes place, aerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm and mitochondria. Pyruvate is formed in cytoplasm, and then in this pyruvate get converted in mitochondria to release energy and etc. But and in anaerobic respiration, this takes place only in the cytoplasm. Actually, in aerobic respiration, complete oxidation of glucose takes place, while in anaerobic respiration, incomplete oxidation of glucose takes place. So you can write these differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Another part of this question is, name some organism that use the anaerobic mode of respiration. Anaerobic mode of respiration are yeast, some kind of bacteria, some bacteria. These are the organisms which use the anaerobic mode of respiration. Next question. How are the alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? We know at the alveoli are situated at the end of the bronchioles, and these alveoli are balloon-like structure which increases the surface area. Why? For the exchange of large amount of gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. These alveoli are richly supplied with blood vessels. So carbon dioxide comes to alveoli from the blood vessels, and oxygen goes from alveoli to the blood vessels. These alveoli are actually we can say very thin walled, and it has large surface area. Now question number 10. What would be the consequences of a deficiency of hemoglobin in our bodies? देखो जनरली अगर आप डॉक्टर के पास जब व्हेन यू फील वीकनेस और टायर्ड वेरी सून, तो व्हेन यू गो टू डॉक्टर एंड डॉक्टर सेज कि हीमोग्लोबिन की डेफिशिएंसी हो गई या मेनली आयरन की डेफिशिएंसी है, तो एक्चुअली हीमोग्लोबिन का क्या फंक्शन है, एंड अगर हीमोग्लोबिन की डेफिशिएंसी हो जाती है तो हमारी बॉडी में क्या होता है. हीमोग्लोबिन इज ए एक्चुअली red color pigment. It is present in our blood which carries oxygen. Hemoglobin has high affinity for the oxygen, so it takes oxygen from the alveoli, and it takes this oxygen to each and every cell of the body, to each and every part of the body. Suppose if there is deficiency of hemoglobin, then the amount of oxygen which is reaching our body, each and every cells of the body, will decrease. Less amount of oxygen will reach to the each cell, and which may lead to release of less energy in our body. We know glucose gets oxidized using the oxygen which is brought by hemoglobin. So because if there will be deficiency of hemoglobin, there will be deficiency of oxygen, and because of deficiency of oxygen, less amount of energy will be released, and this lead to a disease called anemia. So breathlessness, tiredness, weakness will be felt by the person if there will be deficiency of hemoglobin in our body. Next question is, describe double circulation in human being. Why is it necessary? Even this question I had asked in the exam. Double circulation. you know that the heart of human being actually consists of two parts, right part and left part. The right side of the heart receives deoxygenated blood from the body and send it to the lungs for the purification, while the left side of the heart receives oxygenated blood from the lungs, and then the heart pump it further and send it to the each and every cell of the body, each and every part of the body through the blood vessels, arteries and capillaries. This is called double circulation. As the name suggests, double circulation, the blood passes through the heart twice. And why? Because the energy demand for human being or for the mammals is too high, and hence the separation of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood is necessary to fulfill the high demand of energy. Now next question. What are the differences between the transport of materials in xylem and phloem? This also I have explained in transportation, transport in plant, transport system in plant. See, basically, you know that xylem transport water and dissolved mineral salts. Water and minerals are transported with the help of xylem, while synthesized food is transported with the help of phloem. Food which is in aqueous form is translocated with the help of phloem, and water and minerals are transported with the help of xylem. Another difference, the transportation through xylem is unidirectional, always from roots to the tip. The plants get water and dissolved mineral from the roots, from the soil, and so this transportation is unidirectional from roots to tip. But while in case of transportation by phloem, the transportation is bidirectional, means it can goes upside or downside also. Actually, synthesized food can be synthesized, food will be synthesized in the greener part, that is mainly leaves, and these synthesized foods has to reach the top point of the plant along with the top end of the root. So रूट से लेके टॉप तक जाना है, so this transportation will be bidirectional. It can go upside and downside also. So these are mainly two differences. Next question. Compare the functioning of alveoli in the lungs and nephrons in the kidneys with respect to their structure and functioning. Yes. Now see, these are the structural units actually. Alveoli is the structural and functional unit of respiration, or you can say lungs, while nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidneys. Both are in large number, millions of alveoli and kidneys are there. Both alveoli and nephrons are thin walled, they have large surface area, and these are richly supplied with the blood vessels. These are connected with large number of blood vessels, even alveoli and as well as nephron. Alveoli removes carbon dioxide from the blood. It takes carbon dioxide from the blood and it gives oxygen to the blood, while nephron removes nitrogenous waste like urea, uric acid, etc. from the blood. So you can compare the functioning of alveoli and nephron again in the tabular format. 3 question in this exercise, like comparison between alveoli and nephron, difference between xylem and phloem, and difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. These 3 questions you are going to do in tabular format. Okay. Other than this question, I will upload extra MCQs in the Google Classroom, and then you will write the answer, and after 2 days I will upload the answers of those MCQs. But first you will try to solve those MCQs, and after 2 days or 3 days I will upload the answer. So for today, till this video, thank you.